So
Hello.
hi, Opeyemi. It's nice having you here on this tech show with IJ. It's just a show where we're trying to reach out to young people coming in already. They don't have to be young or people already in the stack or people trying to transcend into what you're doing. It's just for them to learn from your experience. So can you tell us about yourself, your name, your field, and how long you have been at
Okay,
this?
thank you. My name is Opeyemi Oduyemi. Most people call me Yemi.
Okay.
I am a software engineer. I have over 5 years experience in
Wow.
the software engineering field. I'm a full stack developer. I do both front end and back end. I use industry level tools, frameworks, and programming languages like Python, Java, TypeScript, JavaScript, Next.js. I'm very familiar with different databases, both um, SQL and non-SQL databases, and so on and so forth.
Wow, thank you so much. That's a very wonderful introduction. So on your 5 years journey, that's a lot. A 5 years old child is already in primary one or so. So over that 5 years, how what have you learned that's really impacted you and how's the journey been so far?
Well, to say the truth, the journey has not been smooth. There's been a lot of, ups and downs, growing here, grinding your teeth there. But there's one thing that is common is that it is all going to be worth it in the end, and it is always worth it. So if you believe and you place value on what you do, improve on your skills, and just keep going at it, it's always worth it at the end.
Wow.
So yes, the journey has not been so smooth, but it's worth it.
Okay, so my next question is, if for your younger self that's not let's just say 10 years ago, because 10 years ago or so, you have not gone into tech or staff, and you have opportunities to pick any career path, would you have still want to transition and go through the whole full stack journey, or would you have gone for something else?
Funny enough, 10 years ago, I didn't know there was a field called, technology, software development, or even design, branding, and all of that. I didn't know that that existed. And I said funny enough because growing up, after secondary school, I went for computer, you know, most of us growing up after secondary school, they'll tell you go to computer school,
Yeah, go to computer school.
learn data,
Gra-
is it data processing
or
or
data process like
what was that thing
Microsoft
exactly?
and Excel.
Just go and learn all of
Microsoft
those
and
things.
Excel.
Yeah, those things, learn Corel Draw, blah, blah,
Correct,
blah. So
exactly.
as at that time, I I found that love for, computer, using computer, I just knew that there was something that I was drawn to with it that I was not able to understand at that time. And then a few years down the line, I got an admission at a school in the UK to study webmaster technology. That was the first time I would
Wow.
ever come across that. But then I didn't get the visa to go. So I deferred the admission. I still didn't get the visa. So I just faced my Nigerian because then I was already in school in the University of Ilorin. So I just faced and then just let it go. So going back to 10 years time now, I still didn't know until after I had, graduated from school, done one or two jobs. I said, no, this is not what I want to do in my life. No, this is not what I want to do in my life. Some of us, didn't start out like we know exactly what we want and we are going for it. And that's okay. That's totally fine. Some of us actually just, especially people who at the time of their growing, they didn't know that there
They
were
didn't come from a
possibilities
tech
like that.
background. That's true.
No, they didn't even know that there's something called tech.
Tech, that's
It's
true.
just like, for instance, I'll give you an example of someone who is, okay, I would say Tunde Ednut, for instance.
Okay.
Tunde Ednut, I think he started as a musician and now he's a, content person and all of that. So maybe when he started, he just felt drawn to the entertainment industry,
And
not necessarily to music, but he just knew I should be doing this. But as at the time he started, there was nothing like, all this content marketing, social media, influencing, and
that's
all of
true.
that.
That's true.
But then, because it was just showing up there and it was like, this is where I'm going to be. I know that I should be in the entertainment industry. With time, it cleared out and it's like, okay, I'm finding my niche. Let me be
Right here.
a right here. And now I am an influencer. But if you ask him, he will say he stumbled into it because he didn't even know that that existed. So I think that's just the same with me. I didn't know it existed, even though I had the opportunity to study webmaster technology, I
Webmaster.
still did not know what that meant at that time.
Oh,
But I started from trying to find myself, and that's one thing that is very, very important. No matter where you are, no matter what you do, if you are at a job and you don't like the job, leave, re-strategize, think of what to do with your life.
that's true.
If you have to learn skills, learn the skills, and then maybe the skills you are learning will just take you
So
in the
like a
meantime,
different
and then you have to
direction.
learn something else.
Serious.
Because when I started out, I started as a customer service representative, calling people, picking calls, and all of that. I got tired. Then I knew that this is not what I wanted to do in my life. And and then I told myself, if I stay here for the next 5 years, where would I be? The highest I would have been, because I was already a team lead at the time, so the highest I would have been a supervisor. And the supervisor salary then was not even up to, I don't think it was up to 80K as at that
Wow.
time. So I just told myself, okay, if I do this, they will just probably expect me to go and marry a rich man. And then
I give birth to kids. Like
and
that's
life has just
and
do
that's
you
like
get,
a
but I just
different.
knew that it's not a bad thing to marry or to marry
Yeah.
a rich man, but then be rich yourself. Then
That's
whatever,
very very key.
yeah, whatever you now find or whatever God has blessed you with, you can,
Expand
start your
on
lives
it.
together. Not that,
Yeah.
yeah, not that you would say because you are stuck somewhere and that's how it's going to be. And I just felt like this is not what I wanted to do in my life. So from there, I think the first thing I did was trying to do a business, which failed woefully, woefully.
Wow.
so
That's
so from
really a
there,
lot.
I told myself, okay, CSR you cannot do, call center representative you cannot do, customer service representative rather.
You can't do.
Business you cannot do. It's time for you to go and learn a skill. So then I ventured into um photography. I went to learn photography
Photography.
from, a school. I went to Studio 24. I don't know if you're familiar with
Yeah,
Studio
I know
24.
Studio
So I
24.
went, yeah, so there was a program they did as at that time that they wanted to empower, I think, 100 women.
Wow.
It was called something for the girls. So I was able to apply and I got in, I did well. After that, I went to an actual photographer to learn they taught us the classroom
The classroom
photography. And
knowledge
I went,
to
yeah,
expand
so I
more.
went for the industrial knowledge. I got a camera, I started working as a photographer. And then because that was not enough to sustain me, because it's not every day is not Christmas. The people you shoot today.
Like it's not every day somebody will come and say, "Give me, I want a shoot, I want a
Every
video
day is
shoot."
not Christmas. If they want to shoot today, maybe they have a birthday photo shoot. It's next year they will have another birthday photo shoot. Do you get? So you cannot, especially if you don't have a name yet in the
That's
industry.
true.
It was not something that you can leverage on like that. So I knew that this photography thing is a side also. Go and look for men also. So and because I was very good with, my personal social media space. At that
Yeah.
time, I was, bubbling. I'm a very good writer.
Wow.
So I had my blog. I used to blog, just talk about things generally and all of that. So someone just told me, but you can make a career out of this now. Why not start doing brand communications, social media management, and all of that? So I just went to take one or two courses, and well, because as at that time also all of those fields were just like
Coming
coming
in
out to be an actual field
field.
that people can work and earn money from. So I was able to get a job as a brand communications manager. I worked there for a couple of years doing photography by the side, just getting on by. And because I was exposed to brand communications management,
Commission.
I started doing things like digital marketing, SEO,
Wow.
you
That's
know,
that means you
um,
really expanded
optimizing.
yourself.
Yeah, I didn't have a choice. So that was why I said some of us stumble into these
So many
things.
things.
So I started doing SEO, digital marketing, affiliation, affiliate marketing. I started doing a lot of things. And then because I am the type that would not just stay where they are, I like to know things around what I do. So if I am a graphic designer, I want to know what photography is. I want to know what painting is. I
Yeah.
want to know what is color. I just want to know things around what I do, not just what I do. Because if I know things around what I do, it makes me do what I do well.
That's true.
So I started, because I was already a photographer anyway, so I went into videography, video editing. I went to learn, and that was when I was just learning these things. Then one day I started doing web development, web
Wow.
design. Actually, I started
Web
with web
designing,
design,
yes.
WordPress
Oh, that's the
design.
CMS too.
Yes, it's a content
The
management.
content
Yeah, you're
management
right.
too.
So that was how I started. And when I started, I realized I love this thing. Oh. Like, I really do.
Wow.
So I didn't mind. Uh, I went to buy myself domain name hosting. I started building that skill just by one end, just on one side. I was working, doing photography, doing everything I can do to get on by, and I was doing that by the side. And then it happened that 5 years ago, the lockdown happened. And then at that time, the way things were going, I just knew that this is my job. I won't be able to go back to it
That's true.
again after the lockdown. So I needed a strategy to say, oh, okay, uh, after the lockdown, what next? Then I started, sharing what I built. I had my first website then, and I started sharing, this is my website. I just built the thing, portrayed myself as a web developer, content management, everything that I did at that
Amazing.
time that will help you manage your social media, I'll take care of
Wow.
your SEO. I just wanted to build a business around that. And of course, because I was a photographer at the time, so it was easy for me to bargain with people and say, okay, I can build your website and don't worry about photography. I do product photography as well. So I'll take the
Wow.
products, I'll take,
That's
I'll
like a whole
coordinate a
full
photo
package
session
business plan you
of
got.
a, yes, that was the plan actually,
Wow.
just to stay on my own and, do all of these
Those
things.
things.
And then I got my first gig just as we were coming out of the lockdown. I was so happy. And then my first gig got me another gig and then got me a
Wow.
job as a web designer. I continued working like that and like that until I decided, oh, okay. So as I was doing that, I was already learning,
Calling.
HTML, CSS, because me, I will not stay like that. I would always want to learn advanced and all of that. So I was already doing that, working, building simple um, websites with HTML, CSS, JavaScript. And then I started going deeper and deeper. And then at some point, it looked like I was beginning to get stuck.
Hmm.
When
When you keep
you
like
get
failing,
to,
that's true.
yeah, no, when you get to a certain point, you just feel stuck. There's something called transition.
Wow.
Some people, well, it happens to a lot of us, but we
We don't know.
understand ourselves more than ourselves.
So
Let me just put it that way. The way it works for me, it might not work for
for another
another person
person,
that
that's
way.
true.
So sometimes for me, when I start getting stuck at a job, it means that transition is around the corner for me. So I was already feeling stuck. So I knew that something new had to come in, just like when I said that before the lockdown,
That's true.
I was already feeling like, I cannot come back
I
to
cannot
this
go
job.
back
And
to this
truly, it
job.
was during that lockdown. It was during that lockdown, in the heat of the lockdown, that they told me that job has finished.
Whoa.
But I just laughed. I just laughed
Because
because I
yeah,
already sensed.
that's
Do you
true.
get what I'm trying to say? So
Yeah.
I just laughed, and they were even expecting, me to start begging for my life, please go. But I just said, okay, you get the reaction because I don't wait for things to hit me like that. Somehow I knew that there was a transition coming, and I was already preparing for it. So when it just came, it just came. Okay. And then I moved on. And at the end of the lockdown, I was already an established business because I had
Person.
drawn my
Yeah.
business model
Wow.
that,
Amazing.
okay, I just want to be a due date. So that was how it was. And so when I started feeling stuck, guys, I told
That's
myself,
really
okay, I've
wonderful.
been doing front end, I've been doing, a bit of coding and all of that. It's time to now venture out and go deeper into programming. And so at some point, I just left what I was doing and went to a school, a boot camp, which was hard because people will be like, why not go through, why not be juggling the two together? Because I tried it, I did a lot of courses, it did not enter. There are some things that, especially when you are entering into a particular field, that
Yeah.
you don't have a mentor, you don't have a mentee, you don't even have people that you can say they are your accountability partners or anything like that. You might just need that hands-on training.
That's true.
So I left everything and I told myself, all or nothing. I can do this. And so I did. And I would tell you that it wasn't all rosy. Like I said, it was never rosy, but it was bearable and it was doable. And I did it. And of course, there were days when, I would say, did I make the right decision? Did
Decision.
I, yeah, but just
That's
have a strong resolve and then go with that resolve, knowing fully well that there's light at the end of the tunnel.
wow.
And I'd say, here we are now.
That was really really quite a very interesting story because a lot of people always be like, oh, I don't have the background knowledge. I didn't start in tech. I'm into something else. Can I leave it for tech? What is the possibility of me excelling in it? But from the keynote I got from you is like you being truthful to yourself and knowing, oh, okay, what's going to work for me? Because what's going to work for you
Exactly.
might not work for someone else.
Might not, it might not work for someone else.
Someone
And if
else.
I tell you that I didn't have a tech background as well,
Wow.
I went to the university, I finished from Faculty of Arts, studied the majored in Yoruba. So there was
there was
nothing tech
there was no
at all.
connection. There was definitely no
At all, there was
connection.
no connection at all. But
Wow.
then today, I can say that anywhere, I can say it anywhere that I'm actually a software engineer,
Junior.
not by mouth, but also, of course, if you are willing to put in the work, sometimes you might even need to, go back to school, start distant learning, degree courses,
That's
just
true.
do everything you need to do to give you that edge and do your work well.
Thank you so much. So our last question, we're going to round up. Our last question is, what is your advice for somebody coming into tech? Because from your experience, you have given a lot of advices. So if you want to round it up, what is just one keynote that you're going to tell somebody coming into tech? Like, look out for this or try this out.
Okay, that would be believe in yourself and believe in yourself so much that you don't let um, outside influences to get to you. I would say, if I would explain that, I would say sometimes you might even believe in yourself, but when you start allowing
External,
influences,
yeah.
yeah, to it might come in the form of love, because I remember then that when I was learning photography, my mom didn't let me hear the last of it. Photography. How much you not making for photography? Do you get like you left? Are you sure you're okay? It's like there's somebody jazzing you somewhere, because I don't know. Like you left an office job,
For
you did
photo
business field. You
for
now went to
photography.
photography. Egba me, Shemo, you are okay. Things like that. And
That's
then
true.
if sometimes the only person that can see where you're going is you. Every
That's
other
very
person
true.
might think that you are losing it. But the moment you start giving in, they will never see what you are seeing. And
That's true.
then everything goes wrong. So sometimes just believe in yourself, have the grit. Even the best of us as software engineers, the best of us don't get it right all the time.
We don't even get it
There are a
right.
lot
A lot
of
of, I think 80% of the time we don't even get it right. Sometimes we're doing a lot
Yeah,
of
there are lots of
guesswork
times where you debug and debug and
and
debug.
it just gets so
You sleep,
frustrating.
you are seeing the bug. You are seeing the bug in your sleep. You wake up with solutions. You be like, the first thing you gotta carry your system. There are days like that.
That's true.
Yeah. So don't let um outside influences affect what you see, what you think. Because I see a lot of people, because I also mentor people in software development.
Mhm.
I see a lot of people come into the field and then they let imposter syndrome get the best of them. Ah, I'm not that good. What am I looking for? Who born my papa? Things like that. And
Yeah.
some people will just say, I've been learning this thing for the past 3 years. I never get job. What, all of those outside influences like that.
Yes.
Once you are so have a lot of grit, surround yourself with the best minds. And if you can't find the best minds, be alone. Do all that is when you have to like
Do
double up on
extra,
your
double extra
practice, just put more effort in what you
efforts
do.
in
That
doing
this
it.
thing say I will see the end of
Do
it. I
it.
will be better for it in the end. And at the end of the day, there's a way it singles you out. That's just the truth.
Thank you. Thank you so much. This has been like one of the most interesting sections. Every section has been interesting. I'm not trying to be biased
Uh,
here, but
yeah,
this is very
it's
very
fine.
is very very inspiring, and thank you for sharing your stories. I know most of us will be like, I've gone through this thing alone. Like if I share it, what difference does it make to someone coming in? But I tell you, a lot of us we look at people already doing it great in the industry, and hearing how far they went, how much they stumble into various things and keep going, it pushes us to be like, okay, if Opeyemi can do it to this extent, me too, I can put that extra work. So thank you so much for sharing your
Yeah,
stories, and
you're welcome.
we really really are so happy to have you here. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here.